Hi fellow crafters. In this video, I'm going to introduce a brand new catalog bundle called The Beauty of Friendship. This stamp set and its matching dies will help you celebrate all the good times and the good people in your life. And wait till you see the corresponding paper. Hey everyone, I'm Terry and I'm nuts about stamping. I love sharing project ideas and techniques with you each week for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be the first to be notified when my next video goes live. Now, let's celebrate friendship, shall we?
Let's start off by having a closer look at this bundle. So we've got the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and the Beautiful Trees dies. I love this set, not only because of the trees, but also because it has a variety of phrases. There's 13 stamps in all, and look what Stampin' Up! Has done. For the first time ever, they actually have the images for each set when it's photopolymer inside the cover of the stamp set itself. So you can actually discard the plastic pieces or you can keep them. It's totally up to you. But you can tell very quickly which images are missing from the set. So before you put it away, you can make sure that everything is complete. I think that's a really clever idea. Now the Beautiful Trees dies, here are some of them. I have pulled out some of them for today's card, so you'll see those in a second. But if you look at this one here, it's really bizarre looking because this set, this bundle, is designed to correspond with the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. So you can take the die, that funky one, and you can lay it down on some of the patterns in this paper and die cut it out and attach it to a tree base. And so you'll have multicolored leaves with just one pass through your Stampin' Cut and Embossed machine. So here's one side of this paper. And look at this. Here's the other side of the paper. So some are solids, some are prints, and the colors, there's a ton of them. There's Bumblebee, Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider, Early Espresso, Merry Merlot, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Old Olive. So lots of potential with this patterned paper. Now, my card base for today is going to be Bumblebee. I've cut it 8.5 by 5.5 and I've scored it on the 4 1/4 mark. That's going to be my card base. Now what I want to do is get a few things stamped and die cut so that they're ready to attach to my card. I'm going to add a couple more layers to my card, but let's do some stamping and die cutting first. So I am going to take this image of the tree and my Early Espresso ink. I'm going to ink it up and I'm going to stamp it down onto this piece of Whisper White. There we go. And now I have these two tree toppers, I guess, and I am going to use Bumblebee for the more solid image. I'm going to stamp that down right here. And then on top of it, look at that. I just think that is so cool. I've got some light and some dark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow ink and I have the more outlined or detailed stamp and I'm going to stamp it right on top like so. All right, now I have the phrase that says thank you. There we go. I'm going to ink it up using Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp it down up here like that. Now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and die cut those out. So here we go. I've got my magnetic platform and my bottom standard cutting pad. I'm going to add my cardstock, and then there is a tree die. There's a tree top die. There's a tree die as well. And there is this little rectangle. Now, you may think to yourself, yeah, a rectangle, I could actually cut that out on my paper cutter, and you can, but there's something really cool about this. So let me show you. I'll run this through. Lots of cracking in there. And this is what I think is really cool about that particular die. It's got an inset edge all the way around. Adds just a touch of elegance, which I think is really cool. Now here's the bottom of, or the top of my tree, and here is the bottom of my tree. So what we're going to do now is set these aside, and I have another piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to bring in some scrap grid paper, and I am going to create a background that the tree is going to sit on in a few minutes. And I'm going to use my blending brushes. So I'm going to use the 3 colors that are featured in the paper that I'm going to use. I'm going to start off with my bumblebee. I'm just going to ink it up, my blending brush, and I'm going to blend towards the top of this layer. Now I showed you how to use blending brushes in a recent video, so if you want to learn more about blending brushes and how to create a beautiful sunset using them, then check out this video here. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll leave that just in case I change my mind. Now I'm going to bring in Old Olive. This is another color that's in the paper I'm going to use. And I have a second blending brush because I don't want to wash mine in between. And I'm going to add Old Olive, like so. And then I have Mossy Meadow. So I'm going from lighter to darker and just going to add the darkest color at the bottom. Like so. Again, you can do it as light or as dark as you want. I think I'm going to go for fairly dark with my Mossy Meadow. Okay, there we go. I'm quite happy with that. So I will clean this all up and I'll be back in a second and show you the next step in this card. All right, it's time to put the card together. So I have my Bumblebee card base, and to that I'm going to add a layer of Old Olive. I'm going to make everything color coordinated. There we go. And then I'm next going to add one of the patterns from the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. You can see that it's got the Mossy Meadow and the Old Olive and the Bumblebee in it, as well as Whisper White. So I'm going to add this next. There we go. Just want the old olive peeking out a little bit, but not too much, just as a nice accent. Now, before I add this layer, I'm going to bring in a punch, excuse me, a punch. And I'm going to punch a topper so that this creates kind of a tag. So then I'm going to attach the tag next. I could pop it up, but I think I'm going to just leave it flat. It's your choice. I think I'll put it, I guess, in the center of my card. So many possibilities, okay? Now I'm going to bring in my 3 tree pieces and attach those next. I decided that I wanted to use my multi-purpose liquid glue, and so I'm going to also bring in my silicone sheet so that if any glue spills over, it won't get on my grid paper and make things a sticky mess. Okay, so I'm going to attach my tree like so. Just let it dry for a second. Now I could pop up my tree topper, but I don't think I'm going to for this card, not this time anyway. I'm just going to attach that next, and I'm going to leave a couple of the branches of the tree sticking out a little bit. Hopefully you can see it. I just pulled them up a little bit. Okay, like so. And now I'm going to add my thank you. And actually, I think I'm going to have it flat as well. I had some mini Stampinº Dimensionals off to the side, but I think it looks really nice like that. Now, one final touch is to add some ribbon. I have this early espresso ribbon. It's a faux suede trim, and I'm going to make a bow, cut this off the bolt, and attach it to the front of my card to complete my card. There's my bow all ready to go, and I'm going to use a mini glue dot to attach the bow. And I think I'll put it near the top where the hole is in the tag. There's lots of other ribbon ideas that you can use, but I think I am very happy with how this turned out. If you'd like a complete listing of the supplies that I used and the measurements for all of the layers, head on over to my blog, www.nutsaboutsstamping.com. I'll link to my blog below in the description box for this video, as well as I'll provide you with a link to my online store in case you would like to place an order for the Beauty of Friendship bundle or the Beauty of the Earth paper. I'm Terry. I am nuts about stamping. I hope you'll make a friendship card today too. Bye for now.